Welcome inside the WB Mason Coaches Report. Ryan Mayer here with the head coach for the Hofstra Pride baseball team, John Russo. And Coach, this past week, 4 games for you. First, the weekday game, New York Tech. You faced them a little bit earlier in the season. Bit of a same result, but a bit of a closer score than last time. 19-6 win for you on Tuesday. What did you see from your guys out there against New York Tech?
I thought the thing we pitched, Mulligan started off okay for us in that game, and we got some decent reliefs, and the wind was blowing out. I think we had 6 home runs that day, and on that type of day, people were like, "Oh, you didn't win 24-1 like it was," but we didn't get into our running game very much. I don't even know if we had too many stolen bases or anything, but I was happy the guys hit real well, and it got us ready definitely for the weekend. They stayed the business at hand, and the game was close early for the first 4 innings, and so we got some competitiveness, and then we were able to spread it out some. And like I said, I thought the bullpen came in after a little bit of sketchy start, and they held them down with the wind blowing out pretty well.
Now you move forward to that Delaware series on the weekend. You go down to Newark to take on this team. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We talked about the fact last week that you were going to start Joe Berg most likely on Friday, and you get a start that you can't really complain about from him. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 6 strikeouts. What did you see from him that allowed him to be so effective?
Joe's an off-the-charts character kid, and we needed somebody to step up and take hold of that Friday start. And I thought, even though late he hadn't been pitching his best, but he showed signs of coming out of it and getting back to his early season form. And the other thing I thought was with telling him a few days earlier, it could get him mentally right to get ready for that performance. And I'll tell you what, there was no player on our team more prepared for Friday's game than Joe Berg. And he knew their hitters, he had a plan, he had an attack, he stayed to it. He gave us close to 80 pitches, which is a lot higher than he's thrown all year. And it just really set the tone for the whole weekend. And we're a pitching and defense type club. And we started the game with an error. Dalton Russo made an error on the first play of the game, and pitch later, Joe got a double play ball, and we turned to double play. And I felt like that showed signs of, hey, we're back. Instead of the error turning into a few runs or starting back, and I have to give all that credit to Joe Berg in his start and the pitching staff overall this week. It was real good, and just as good as Joe was, Brett was just as good in the final 4 innings, and the pitching staff set the tone, and the defense set the tone for us.
Now, your offense obviously gets going in this game as well, putting up 16 on the board. Was that a carryover in confidence from the game earlier in the week, that they were just really seeing the ball well when they got out there on Friday?
Our offense is really tough to handle. I mean, at any given time, we can put 8 to 9 hitters in there with 300 averages or better, and so we're really confident. They had a really good Eric Young, a #1 starter in this league, who had an earlier win against Arizona State. He's a senior. He knew how to really pitch, and we were expecting a really tight game. But I was trying to remember back to that Friday game. There wasn't anybody that had like a super great game there, but there was a lot of good games, and it was up and down the lineup. Everybody had hits and a couple RBIs and a couple runs scored, and it's just really nice to see our offense get going, and and have a big outing like that on Friday. It made it that much easier for Joe and Brett to pitch. But I thought they just had a great plan and really set the tone, and I'm really happy with the way they played open on Friday.
Now, Saturday, you get another win, 4-0 this time. John Tiedemann bounces back from that outing that he had last weekend against James Madison, goes 8 innings, only 3 hits, strikes out 7. Difference in command a little bit this weekend from last weekend, or what was the change that you saw from him this week?
We've been riding, John and Josh pretty hard, and the inning week before, John went 117 pitches against Wilmington. The week before that, it was 114. So, I had to, at least in my head, look at the James Madison as a little bit of aberration, and because John had been pitching so well before that, and then we got him back, and he fixed up a little stuff in the mechanics. He really attacked and really worked off of what Joe and Brett did the day before, and we met that night and felt like we had a good game plan going into the Saturday game, and we really picked it up again on defense, and we were able to strike early with the 3 runs, even though they're unearned. Their kid pitched, another senior pitched a really good game, had us off balance most of the whole game, and probably did as good a job as any starter's done against us this year, holding us down. And he had a really nice outing. They went to their two big relievers because it was almost a must-win for them also, and it really helped out to get to see them on Saturday because we saw them again on Sunday. And overall, it was just a great game set up by, once again, the pitching, and then Verbitsky to come in and close out the night.
Now the story's a little bit different on Sunday after jumping out to leads in the first two games of the series, really getting going early. Sunday, Dave Jesh goes out, only pitches an inning plus, and gives up 8 runs, all 8 of them earned. What was the feeling in the dugout after you got down a little bit early?
We came out and we scored 2 right away off a kid that was throwing pretty well. It was 88-92. He had a lot of confidence up there, and Matt got a 2-out single, and then Hammer got a 2-out single, and then Jackson a 2-out single, and so we were able to score 2 runs on top of the first, and we thought, hey, here we go. And then uncharacteristically, David gives up 4 in the bottom of the first, and then we came back and scored 2 in the top of the second to tie it up, and then they come back and hit a grand slam, and so we were down 8-4. But with this team, number one, we don't ever think we're out of anything, and they've got a lot of character and moxie, and I just think they need to take a deep breath and go, all right, we're going to have to do it this way today. And it really started with Cody Normand, starting in the second inning and giving us 2 2/3 of great relief, and then Barbarino coming in for 3 1/3, great relief, just giving up 1 run, and then Verbitsky for 2. So we got 8 innings out of the bullpen, and only 1 run is unreal. And then the offense, we feel like we can strike at any time, and Delaware went right to their guy Pearson, who had their best numbers out of the bullpen, and he held us down, and we finally got a chance to drive go-ahead runs, and they walked Hammer to put the go-ahead run on base, and Jackson popped up, and then Kevin had a 3-2 count, and he hit a pop-up that just wasn't handled down the right field line, so he got kind of a second chance, and then he delivered, a really good hit down the double down the left field line, and Hammer scored on a collision plate at the plate.
Now, with Dave Jesh, this is the second consecutive week now that we've seen a little bit slower of a start for him than we have been accustomed to all season. What's changed over the past 2 weeks? Is it just an aberration like it is with John Tiedemann, or is there something different that's going on with him?
It could be a little bit my fault. He, against Wilmington again, he went over 100. He went 114, and that was his biggest outing of the year. And, up until then, we kept him around 85, 95 pitches and really protected him. But, that Sunday Wilmington game was a game we had to have, and he was throwing really well. And then his next 2 outings have, not been so well. And a little bit could be, I think, is hitting the freshman wall. And, right now it's just figure out how to get him past this and get him back to where we can, we need him, and get him back going on Sundays. And, we're still 7-0 on Sundays in conference play. And so realistically, we want every start that he's made, and we'll keep with that confidence. And, David's already asked to pitch tomorrow. He wanted an inning against Rutgers to get going again, so we'll give him an inning tomorrow. And, Vinny, Coach Vinny, our pitching coach, thinks he saw something mechanical yesterday that will be able to help him out. But, he's a freshman. He's logged a lot of innings. He's pitched every weekend for, 8 weekends in a row now. And, he was due to hit this wall, and now we just got to get him over it and get him ready going, further on the season.
Now, the big story coming out of the games last week is your bullpen. 18 in the third innings pitched. They only give up 4 runs throughout those 4 games. How much confidence does it instill in you as a head coach to be able to, even if your starter has a bad outing, as David just did, to be able to go down to the bullpen and know that they're going to keep you in the game?
We have a lot of guys that have experience over the last 3 years or last 2 years down there, and I just think that James Madison weekend was just a perfect storm. We just happened to pitch badly. They were swinging really well, and our bullpen has been really good all year, and so I personally still have a lot of confidence in them. And we had a Wednesday meeting, and that was the big thing I wanted to instill in them is, hey, listen, I'm fine with this weekend. It was just a bad weekend. We can look past it. You need to move past it and stay to what we've been doing previous to this. And, I thought with Brett, on Friday really going out there, probably the best he's thrown all year, his last 2 innings. And then, then the relief appearance by Verbitsky getting a shutout inning. And then, listen, Norman and Barbs are, 3-year guys, and they just really stepped up. And I thought both of them had really good stuff. And Barbs touched out a couple situations. And, what Barbs did was that you can't see on stats is he extended 1 more inning, so Brian only had to go 2 innings to close out the Sunday start, which was huge. Once the 1 inning happened, I wasn't sure where we'd pick up that extra inning, and then Barb's picked it up himself. So that was incredible, and just really happy with those guys. And we really instill in them that pitching and defense is how we're going to keep winning, and that's the way we need to do it.
Now, you look forward ahead to this week. Again, another 4 games for your first Rutgers coming up tomorrow, and then you have a home series against Northeastern. With Northeastern coming up this weekend, you guys sitting at 14-7 right now in conference play, behind conference leader UNC Wilmington. If you win 3 games, it's almost a lock at that point that you're in the CAA tournament. So how do you talk to your team this week in terms of making sure that they realize what they have the opportunity to do this coming weekend?
We've had a lot of trouble. Last year we got swept by Northeastern. I think we only scored like 6 or no runs on the weekend, maybe 1 run on the weekend. And 2 of those guys are back in Leanouts and Mackey. And Ferguson will pitch on the weekend. He's done real well. And you saw what they did to Towson. Towson was in 4th place this weekend and goes down to Northeastern and gets swept and really dominated at the plate. Northeastern's pitching was really good, and that's what they have. I mean, Leanouts is a draft pick from last year, senior, preseason pick for Conference Pitcher of the Year. So, Friday night's going to be a real big burden to us, and we're going to go with Berg again and hope he steps up. And, we're just going to have to play really good pitching and defense and hope we can strike for a few runs. They're going to go 2 lefties out of their 3 in their rotation. We've had a little bit of troubles with left-handers this year, and it's going to be a great matchup. But more to your question is we're just basically taking it 1 game at a time, and just we know we're close to having a chance at the conference right now, and we're trying to win 1 game at a time. Before we were talking 2 out of a 3 out of a series, but even the Sunday game or the game 3 against James Madison, that's a big win right now. The last game against Wilmington's a big win. So they're all big wins right now, and the ultimate goal is just to make the tournament and give ourselves a chance. And right now we are sitting in 2nd place, and that'd be great to make. It'd give us a first-round bye, which we'd need, and it'd be great. But right now we just take making the tournament. That's our goal.
Now, 2 wins away right now from tying the program mark with 27 wins in a season. 3 obviously to break that mark. Now, I know you're not that big of a records guy and that, but what would it mean to you and to this team to be able to say after the season, after everything's fallen where it has, hey, we now own the record for the most wins in a season in Hofstra baseball history?
Well, I think all of us could say this. College is some of the best memories of our life, and to be able to say we have the career baseball record is something that they can be proud of. They achieved together. They're having such a great time. They're doing a lot of things together right now with a lot of records. I mean, Danny Poma this weekend set the individual doubles record. He's going to have a chance at just hits. He's going to have a lot of chances. But the thing is, Danny's less like you or I. He doesn't want it, but the team's all caught up into it and cheering him. So to get a team record like wins and something to take. I know that we beat our conference. We had 12 wins was the previous. Now we're at 14, so every win there is another one. And I know this. I know they're real proud of it. They should be. They're deserving of it. They've given great effort. They're a great group of guys. Everybody should be proud to be around them. They give it hard. And it's been a tough process to really do. The program has come a long ways, and we feel like we're breaking down walls every day. And to make the tournament would be the next big wall, and like you said, 2 more wins to tie the school record would be another wall. And I think there's no limitations on where this baseball program can go.
All right, well, head coach John Russo, thanks for joining me inside the WB Mason Coaches Report, and good luck out there this week.
Thank you, Ron.